What's up and welcome to another DIY video. In this one we're going to be making a double-sided infinity mirror. It's going to be made from frames that I found in the trash, some wood that I found in the trash, some leftover materials that I have hanging around in my workshop already for some time. So I decided to let's make sure that these things also get used. So yeah, let's get started. My name is Joshua, this is Studjo Infinity. Let's make an infinity mirror. So these are the two little frames that we're going to be using. One is going to go to the front, the other one is going to go to the back. I found these a couple of months ago in the trash. And this is here just some two-way mirror plexi, very easy to use, very easy to cut. Some leftover from a project that I did a while ago. Same for the LEDs. These are WS2812Bs, very good to use. They're very durable, they're very good, very bright, 5-volt ones. Our trusty LED controller, of course, to make it work with Bluetooth through our phone. We have a power supply and some wood. I also found this in the trash. This seemed to be from also a DIY project, something that you can build some miniature house or something. And I literally picked this up on the day that I came to the workshop when I decided to make this video. So, perfect timing. Step number one, let's take these frames apart. Now, before we continue with the next step, I would really like for you guys to just hit the like button, leave a comment on the video, subscribe if you like what I'm doing. Thank you in advance. Let's take the next step. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to cut the plexi, the two-way mirror, to fit in the frames exactly. And I'm actually really lucky because this just really fits perfectly. So I just need to make one cut for each frame. And this is a plexi two-way mirror. This is 3 millimeters in thickness with a scratch resistance coating on it. And I can really advise using this for small projects. This is actually a leftover piece from this project. You can see it here in this little clip. I'm really proud of that piece. You can also see it in another video, so make sure to go watch that one as well. And yeah, let's cut some plexi. Okay, so we have basically our frames prepared, we have our plexi prepared. Now I'm just going to make a little box that's going to go in between both frames, and that's going to be where we're going to mount the LEDs on. Let's go. Okay, so right now we have our frames prepared, we have our plexi prepared, and also of course our little box here that's going to have the LEDs on the inside. Now the only thing before we can start painting something, we still need a hole, of course, because the LEDs have cables coming into them, so I'm just going to make a small hole in one of the beams of the box so that we can make a nice little square for the LEDs. Okay, so now it's time to put some paint on this. I'm going to paint the inside of this little box frame that we made here, and also on the inside edges, you know, to hide the wood that's not visible then anymore. I'm going to be using just some spray can paint, some gold paint to make it nice and soothing, because the frames itself are also in this gold paint. Now, before we put the LEDs in, let's first give them a test. You never know. And one of the things I always do is, especially with a strip like this, you'll see like you have these little gaps here. This is going to be very tricky to mount, so I first just cut this and make sure this is all nice and flat. Otherwise you can get these ugly bumps when you mount these LEDs. So let's first take care of that. Called here test connecting. I didn't change the settings so far, so let's turn these on. This is right now for 294 LEDs, but okay, as you can see it's already turning on blue. This is where we're at right now. So I always do the channel tests, you know, we have red, we have green, we have blue, and then we can just put it on in effect. It's a bit hard to see probably in the video, But yeah, let's mount these guys and let's see how this whole thing turns out. So this plexi has two sides. One has a clear foil, the other one has a blue foil. The most reflective side is where the blue foil is. So this is now just so we can mount it, but I'm not going to take everything off already, you know, just in case if something happens. Now you would say you can see all these little pin heads coming out, but I'm just going to cut these off. So now the time has come to put our LEDs inside this little boxy here. Now of course on one side we have some paint, so I'm just going to sand that off, clean it before I'm going to put in the LEDs. Okay, so now we have our LEDs on our little frame here. I'm just going to give these one more test just to be sure. You never know if something got damaged while mounting these in there. So yeah, fingers crossed, because then basically if it works, we take some wood glue, we stick the whole thing together, and we should be done. As you probably saw in the previous shot, these were laying ready, but I decided I'm not going to use these. I'm afraid with clamping the whole thing together that things would start moving, you know, that things don't line up anymore. I'm just going to put a piece of wood on top, add some weight to that, leave it for a day, and then we'll see what the result is. So yeah, now it's the day after. We're gonna take the weights off. Let's see how this little project turned out. I'm very excited. It's gonna be really nice. Just be using, like, yeah, with what I have left over, some frames from the trash, some wood. So let's see what the final result is on this one. And yeah, thanks for watching the whole video. I'm very happy you did. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, a comment. It all helps the algorithm. It all helps me to achieve to do this full time. I still have a full-time job at the moment of recording this video. Every help is appreciated. And I'll see you guys on the next Infinity project. Ciao!